Hello everyone, this is Sivaranjani, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from KCS Kakinada College of Arts and Science. So in the previous video, in control structure, we have seen three forms of control in programming. The one was selection, and the second one was sequential, and the third one was iteration. So in the previous video, we have seen what is sequential control, selection. So generally, what is a selection? What is a selection? So we are going to see what is selection control. A selection control structure is a given set of instructions and the selection control statements controlling their execution. So we are going to see what are all the things in that selection control. The first one was if statement. So what is generally if? And if is a statement where a selection control statement is based on a value that the condition associates. So here we are going to see the syntax for that if statement. So the syntax starts with the keyword if and the condition, and with that condition next to that was a colon, and down to that was a statement that was included in the condition. So here we are going to see the example for that particular if. So here we have a condition. If the particular value is greater than 0, then we can print the statement as it is a positive number. Now we are moving on to the next thing called if else statement. So what is if else? So if we have a condition, if that particular condition is true, that particular statement will execute. But what is in the case of else? So if the particular condition was false, then the else statement will execute. So an if is a statement, and it is a selection control statement based on a value of a given Boolean expression. So we are going to see what is the syntax for that if else. As I have already told you, it will be starts with the keyword if and the condition followed by a colon, and if the condition is true, that particular condition will execute the statement next to that. If the condition is false, it will execute the else statement. So the else part starts with the else keyword and followed by a colon, and down to that it has a statement. So now moving on to the example for if else. So as I have already told you, here you can see that example. It starts with the if keyword and it has a condition where the grade is greater than or equal to 70. If that is true, then it will print the statement as it is a passing grade. If that particular condition is false, it will print the statement as failing grade. Now moving on to the next thing. In selection control, we have a next thing called nested if. So what is a nest? Here, if the if statements can be nested, it will be resulted in a thing called multi-way selection. So we can have a multiple options. So we have here a syntax and example for that. So as I have already told you, the nested if is also started with the if keyword and it will have a condition. Down to that, it will have statements. If that particular condition is false, it will be moving on to the next thing. So likewise, once the condition is failed, it will be moving on to the next false part. So here we have an example. If that particular grade is greater than or equal to 90, it will print it has a grade of A. Likewise, it will be go on till the grade of F. So this is nested if. Now we are moving on to the next thing called elif header. So what is elif header? So using elif header also we can create that multi-way selection. But here is the difference. As we already know, Python has a indentation thing. So if we miss the indentation, we'll be facing an error. But in the case of elif, we can just put it as straight as if. So this way the difference between the elif and the nested if. So it will be also working like a multi-way selection. As we can see here, if that particular grade is greater than or equal to 90, it will be print a grade of A. Likewise, it will be go on till the grade of F. So moving on to the next thing, that was iteration. We'll be seeing that in next video. Thank you.